From a geological point of view, Australia is an ancient continent. Around 530 million years ago, mountain building events, in the newly formed Australian tectonic plate, created a mountain range. These mountains had strong igneous granite outcrops on top, which over time shredded off, and got transported down to the valley of the mountain range. Millions of years of erosion shrank these mountains again, and buried the layers of weathered granite with kilometers of material, which compacted it again, to form extremely hard sandstone, called arkose. Around 130 million years after the initial mountain building event, a second one shoved these sandstone layers to the surface again, flipping the now hardened arkose 90 degrees in the process. This flipping made the rock stretch multiple kilometers vertically. Another 100 million years of erosion removed the softer rocks around this hardened sandstone layer, which finally led to the uncovering of these magnificent rock structures. Located in the Northern Territory of Australia, Uluru-Kata Tjuta National Park hosts therefore some of the world's most spectacular examples of isolated mountains. The most famous of them is Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. An equally massive isolated mountain located approximately 30 kilometers, 20 miles, to the northwest of Uluru is known as Kata Tjuta. Like Uluru, this is a sacred site to the native Anangu, or Aboriginal people. On the rock itself, and around Uluru, there are 12 spots, such as the sacred pond, and activities like watching the sunset and the sunrise, that you need to see and perform as highlighted in the video. However, climbing Uluru is definitely not one of them. Climbing Uluru was until a few years ago a favorite activity of tourists. On the other hand, Anangu, the Aboriginal owners of the land, would rather prefer visitors not to climb Uluru, which they regard as a sacred site of great spiritual significance, with a hidden water source in the heart of the outbacks. Nevertheless, most of the tourists ignored this request, and a large number of visitors climbed the rock on a daily basis, while also littering the environment and disrespecting Anangu. Finally, the climb was prohibited by law in October 2019. Uluru is quite treacherous. At the bottom it's usually quiet and still, but during the climb, which usually takes 90 minutes to the top, and 45 minutes descending back, strong winds can make climbers slip, and even suffer fatal injuries. Besides, the strong effects of the sun can lead to heat stroke, or sudden rainfall can make the rock surface very slippery. As climbing was allowed, a total of 37 tourists died during the attempt of reaching the top of Uluru. Among the main attractions in the Uluru-Kata Tjuta National Park are riding camels around Uluru and Kata Tjuta, as well as helicopter round trips for the best aerial views of the rock formations. There are several ways of reaching the national park. The most convenient is traveling by air, because the park has its own airport, called Ayers Rock Airport. You can fly directly to Uluru from a number of Australian cities, including Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Darwin, Adelaide, and Alice Springs. If you are in Alice Springs, then driving to Uluru is an absolute must-do, since the road takes travellers through the heart of the country. And it's not a long one either. The one-way trip from Alice Springs to Uluru is just 450 kilometers or 5.5 hours on fully sealed roads. The most convenient way of visiting Uluru is by booking an organized, all-inclusive tour, offered in any major city. Due to environmental reasons, there is nowhere to stay inside the national park. However, there are plenty of options, ranging from luxury resorts to basic camps, just a 10-minute drive from the park, and a 10-minute drive from the airport. The best time to visit Uluru is between May and September, when the maximum temperature during the day is usually between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. The cool weather means it is safer and much more pleasant to walk in the national park, and there is usually very little rain. While planning your trip to Uluru, given the wide variety of activities on offer, we recommend staying at least 3 days to give yourself time to explore, learn, go on some adventures, and take your time to understand the Aboriginal culture and the mystic aura of their sacred rock. If you happen to be in Australia, for example for a dive safari in the Great Barrier Reef, for the Sydney to Hobart Regatta, or an RV trip along the east coast of the continent, don't leave the country without visiting Uluru.